anticipate that I was going to say anything at this meeting until, quite frankly, until I heard the ordinance adopting revised building code. Things, and particularly the portion that has to do with sprinkler systems. First of all, I didn't know, and I suspect that no one else, unless there was some kind of public notice or discussion about this matter, which I haven't seen, but probably no one else knew that the adoption of these updates to the code included the requirement for fire sprinkler systems in new homes. The first thing that I'd like to say is that I think that was on its way to, or maybe on its way to approval without the public really being knowledgeable about it, that it's even in there, number one. First, and I think that the public should be knowledgeable of it, and they should also be knowledgeable that this is not a slam dunk. There's, you give something to get something, and there are some trade-offs that come along with this. Mrs. Cohen properly mentioned one of them about competitiveness and what it does to increase the cost of housing. I don't have a horse in that race because I'm not in the new house building business. But I can tell you that there's another side to it that I suspect that no one has considered, and that is that a sprinkler system, by its very nature, operates with water. And that's all fine and good, during warm weather months of the year. But when you get to a time of year, when you don't have warm weather and where you have severe weather, and you have sprinkler pipes running through unheated spaces, or even if maybe they might be in heated or semi-heated spaces, and you lose power, or you lose heat, or for some reason those pipes freeze, you can experience a huge amount of damage when pipes freeze. And usually fire suppression systems, sprinkler systems, are usually overhead. By their nature, they spray down, which means the water pipes have got to be overhead. And when those things freeze and burst, whether you've had a fire or not, you might just as well have had a fire for the amount of damage that can occur. So I just wanted to point out that there's an upside and there's a downside, like everything else. Life's a series of compromises. But I think one is the public ought to be aware of what we're adopting here, and that it's not all positive. There's a downside that comes along with it, and a risk that you undertake when you have systems like that. So, and all of the risk is not just lack of competitiveness with other communities or whatever in the pricing of your homes, but it also is something that a risk that has to be borne by the people who own and live in those homes for years down the road. So I think the public needs to be aware of that before, and the council needs to consider that before they decide that they want to adopt this. Thank you very much.